Hello, you're welcome to another amazing story. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. Please, if this is your first time watching, hit that subscribe button to help us grow. The question is, can you marry an old woman because of money? Let us know in the comment section below. Thank you and enjoy the story. That moment in the bedroom when Emeka stood frozen as Mama Nkechi, his 70-year-old wife, collapsed on the floor, gasping for air. The weight of her frail body hit the cold marble tiles of their mansion. "This boy has killed me. I told you to be gentle with me," she said as she tries to breathe. "Emeka, but Mama is just one round now, and I was not even fast. Oh God, what have I done to myself? Poverty, it shall never be well with you. Mama, get up, let's finish this thing. Oh, me, I'm not okay." Mama Nkechi screamed, "Come and finish me, Emeka." Just a year ago, Emeka had been a struggling young man in the village of Umwago. At 27, he had no stable job, no real future, and no hope. He spent his days helping at his uncle's carpentry shop, earning just little money to buy food. One evening, as he sat outside the village square, a group of men whispered excitedly about an old woman who was looking for a young man to marry. "She is very rich," one of them said. "She owns houses in the city and lands beyond this village." Emeka's ears perked up. He had heard of Mama Nkechi before, but she was old enough to be his grandmother. The thought of marrying her disgusted him, but the idea of being rich for life overpowered any hesitation. That night, he lay in his small, tattered mat thinking about a future filled with money, cars, and power. "What is love when there is no food?" he muttered to himself, deciding that he would seek her out the next day. But there was one obstacle: Chioma. Chioma had been Emeka's sweetheart since childhood. She was beautiful, kind, and had always believed in him. Though she came from a poor home, she worked hard, selling vegetables at the market to support her younger siblings. She and Emeka had dreams of making a life together, despite their struggles. One evening, as they sat under the big Udola tree near the village square, Chioma rested her head on his shoulder. "No matter how hard things get, Emeka, we will always have each other," she whispered. The next morning, when Emeka made up his mind to visit Mama Nkechi, he knew he had to end things with Chioma. He found her at the market, arranging baskets of tomatoes. When she saw him, she smiled, wiping her hands on her wrapper. "My love, you came to see me?" she asked, beaming. Emeka hesitated, avoiding her gaze. "Chioma, we need to talk." She noticed the seriousness in his voice and set down the basket. "What is it?" I have to leave you," he said quickly, his voice almost a whisper. Chioma's smile faded. "Leave me? What are you saying, Emeka?" "I am getting married to Mama Nkechi," he blurted out, his heart pounding. "She will give me a better life." Chioma's hands trembled as she clutched her wrapper. "You are joking, right?" she asked, laughing nervously. "Mama Nkechi is old enough to be your grandmother, or don't you want to have kids?" Emeka looked away. "It doesn't matter. She is rich, Chioma. She can give me everything I've ever wanted." Chioma took a deep breath, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "But I love you, Emeka. We have always been together. I thought we were going to build a future." Emeka swallowed hard. "Love doesn't put food on the table. I have suffered enough. Me, I'm tired of drinking Gorio. Chioma's voice cracked. So you are choosing money over love? He nodded, feeling a pang of guilt in his chest. I have to, Chioma. She took a step back, shaking her head. Then go, Emeka. But remember this, money can never fill the emptiness in a man's heart. Without another word, she turned and walked away, leaving Emeka standing there, feeling an unfamiliar emptiness settle in his stomach. The next morning, he walked to Mama Nkechi's mansion, a house that stood in stark contrast to the mud huts around the village. It was painted white with blue windows, and a large black gate surrounded the compound. A young maid let him in and led him to the living room. The scent of expensive perfume filled his nostrils. As he waited, his eyes scanned the shiny glass table, the sparkling chandelier, and the expensive furniture. This is the life I deserve, he thought to himself. Mama Nkechi finally walked in, her frail body draped in a golden wrapper. Her face was wrinkled, but her eyes held a sharpness that made Emeka uneasy. She smiled at him and said, I have heard about you, young man. You wish to marry me? Emeka forced a smile and nodded. Yes, Mama Nkechi. I will take care of you, and I will love you, he lied. She smiled, then looked at him closely. I know why you are here. You want my wealth. Emeka's heart skipped a beat. Was she reading his mind? Mama Nkechi, he started, but she raised a hand to stop him. It does not matter, she said, leaning forward. I want companionship. If you marry me, I will give you a good life. Emeka swallowed hard. He had expected a challenge, but this was easier than he thought. Yes, Mama Nkechi. I will marry you. The wedding was the talk of the village. People whispered behind Emeka's back, calling him greedy, but he ignored them. Dressed in fine clothes, he stood beside Mama Nkechi as she held his hand with excitement. After the ceremony, she moved him into her mansion and gave him everything he wanted, new clothes, a car, and even a position in her business. At first, life was sweet. Emeka enjoyed the luxury, the expensive meals, and the respect that came with being Mama Nkechi's husband. But soon, reality set in. Mama Nkechi expected his time, his attention, and his care. She wanted to talk for hours, hold his hand in public, and share meals with him. Emeka found himself repulsed by her wrinkled skin, her slow walk, and her old-fashioned ways. One night, as they sat for dinner, Mama Nkechi reached for his hand. Emeka, do you love me? She asked. Emeka forced a smile. Of course, I do, my love. She stared at him for a long moment before sighing. Then why do you never look at me with warmth? Emeka looked away. He wanted to respond, but his throat felt dry. He excused himself and walked to the balcony, staring into the dark night. He knew he could not live like this forever. He needed an escape. And so, he began sneaking out, meeting younger women in secret, spending Mama Nkechi's money on them. He was careful, but not careful enough. One evening, as he returned from the city, he found Mama Nkechi waiting for him in the living room. Her eyes were red, her fingers trembling. Emeka, she said in a low voice, I know what you have been doing. His heart pounded. Mama Nkechi, I can explain. Don't lie to me, she interrupted. You think I am old and foolish. I gave you everything, and this is how you repay me. Emeka swallowed hard. He had never seen her this angry. I am sorry. She shook her head. No, you are not. You have humiliated me. She turned away, wiping a tear from her eye. I made a mistake thinking you could love me. That night, as he packed his bags, he realized the bitter truth. He had married for wealth, but now, he had lost everything. And for the first time, he felt the weight of his choices crushing down on him. As he walked out of the mansion, the villagers watched, whispering amongst themselves. He had entered that house as a man seeking riches, and now, he was living with nothing but regret. A cold wind blew through the night, and for the first time, Emeka felt truly alone.